politics of food, specifically vegan food in Europe. The European Commission is considering whether food producers should be forced to label products as vegetarian or vegan. And it's not the first time this issue has found itself on the EU political menu. Take a look at any food label in the grocery store and you'll see. It's not always easy to recognize the ingredients. In fact, many vegans say they have to study them with hyper-awareness. So a citizens' initiative was launched, just the beginning of a long process which could be met with industry backlash. When you think of vegans, does the word terrorism come to mind? Probably not. But that's what some people in France claimed this summer after 15 butcher shops were splashed with fake blood. The owners wrote to the government asking for protection against so-called militant vegans. But it's not all anti-vegetarian across Europe. In the Netherlands, a real attempt at changing the meat-heavy culture. A government report recently urged Dutch citizens to adopt a plant-based diet. The reason? To cut greenhouse gases. It also wants you to see a lot less of these guys by reducing livestock production. Well, joining us for this panel to discuss it is Thomas Waits. He's an Austrian MEP with the Greens. All right, I'll start with you, Thomas. This issue, why is it important and why is it coming up now?
Well, there's more and more young people realizing what kind of agricultural system there is in place. They see the cruelty of animal transports, they see the cruelty in slaughterhouses, they see the mass breeding production, and they just don't want to eat that stuff anymore. They just don't want to support that system with their money anymore. So they turn vegetarian, they turn vegan, and I think that's very understandable.
But it's not. It's been going on for decades. I think the request has come in about 10 years ago, but it's only now. So why the delay? Let's say why is the EU only now starting to listen?
I absolutely have no idea why they're listening at all. I mean, I don't think that this is in any way should be a candidate for EU regulation. I'm sorry, but vegans can't read ingredients.
But it's important to know what's in your food. If you know,
this is a job for the market, right? There are a lot of people who are becoming vegetarian and vegan. They want to buy vegetarian and vegan food. Clever companies will write, "We are vegan," like on your video footage there. And then those people will go and buy. The idea that this has to be regulated is just bonkers.
I think citizens have a right to know what they buy. They have a right to obviously see what they buy. If you buy some sweets for your kids and then realize that they are made with pork gelatine or they are kind of covered with pork
read
fat,
the ingredients.
Yeah?
I mean, people don't need to have their hands held all the time. And that's the problem. It's this hand-holding.
But it's actually the vegetarian lobby who've been pushing for this actually since 2008. They've been writing to the Commission asking them to define vegan and vegetarianism, and they were hoping that Brexit and the European elections wouldn't overtake this matter. And we've seen that it would, because this morning Margrethe Schinas, the spokesperson over in the European Commission, said, "Look, we will not be dealing with this issue. We will pass it on to post-2019 when the new Commission is put in place." So it's an issue actually that they do want to see addressed.
Consumers already have the power, and the power is in their wallet. You know, you reward the companies which do what they see as the right thing, and the problem's solved. If you don't like meat, don't throw blood on a butcher. Just don't buy meat.
But then that's the question. What is so wrong about regulating the labeling of products like these?
Exactly.
Well, what is so wrong about it? Because, well, for one thing, there would be the need to add an extra burden on people. I mean, the second thing is it adds to this cloying...
But where's the extra burden for people? It's a burden maybe for business that people obviously see whether something is vegetarian or not.
Do people need to have
vegan in wine gums, and you can't eat that if you're vegan?
Right, beyond labeling, though, I want to bring this up.
It's not an EU role.
Because veganism, vegetarianism, and traditionally it's been linked to policies of the left or on Greens or no. Now it's becoming more mainstream. Is it being politicized? Is there a stigma attached to veganism and vegetarianism, which is why people get so emotional about it?
There is a stigma because it's clear that the more vegan you are, the less of a sense of humour you have, because you subscribe to a fundamentally joyless existence.
You've got to reply to that.
Yeah, that's a completely ridiculous announcement. I mean, I'm not a vegan person at all. Yeah, I think I have a big sense of humour, but I know many of my friends that also have a big sense of humour. That has nothing to do with that at all. Every single person and citizen has the right to feed themselves the way they want to, and to buy the products they prefer, and they should be supported with a very clear labeling. What has the industry to hide?
Look, and it's not a health issue at the end of the day. If you have an allergy, for example, to something that's in your wine gum, you can get a reaction on your face. I've seen it happen. Friends of mine have had convulsions because they've been allergic to something in the food and they haven't known
because of the label. It comes down to whether you want to take responsibility for your own choices or whether you want a government or an institution to take responsibility for you.
Yeah, but you can't put all the responsibility on citizens, yeah? We're not selling cars without brakes and then asking the citizens to decide whether they take a car with brake or without a brake.
Precisely my point. Look at that.
I mean...
Look at that emotional decision coming out.
As meat.